Hi everyone, welcome to my page, welcome to my platform, Step Into Your Truth. My name is Gertrude. Today I wanted to talk about the seasons that we go through in life, right? We go through high seasons, we go through low seasons, dark places. Sometimes we just stagnate, we're smack bang in the middle. But you never are going through, life is not a straight line. I don't think that's how life was created, and it isn't. So, you may be going through a dark place, you may be going through the most, you may be going through the devil's house, but that's not going to last forever. And the same applies to the good times. And as much as we want, I think sometimes you need to be jilted a little to to realize your purpose in life, and you need to be jilted a little to learn, otherwise we're not growing. But I think sometimes we overthink the dark times, we overthink the dark places, we overthink the lows. And for example, you could be having a bad day, you could be having a bad week, but then because we internalize it a lot and we overthink it, we think we've got a bad life. But that's not necessarily true. You're just going through a phase, like I said, up, down, up, down, up, down. You're going through a phase. Just because you're going through a low, it doesn't mean that you've got a bad life. Try not to allow the negative things you're going through while you're down here or while you're going through your low. Try not to allow those negative things to become you or to become a part of you. Let them inform you, let them teach you, but don't let them become you. Don't then identify yourself, as somebody who's angry, or as somebody who is toxic, or somebody who's just not happy. Don't let what you're going through define who you are, pretty much. Now, there's a stagnant stage, that's between the high and the low. Now, there's two sides, I believe, to being in that stage. If you're constantly in a stagnant stage, if you're constantly just going through a straight line, no highs, no lows, I would challenge you and ask you, are you really living? Are you really living? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing in life? Are you fulfilling your purpose? Because I feel like when you are, you're going to go through the highs and the lows. You're going to go through the highs and the lows. Nobody is doing what they're supposed to be doing in life and not experiencing challenges and not experiencing highs up to here, right? So I would challenge you and ask you, if you're constantly in a stagnant space for a long time, are you challenging yourself? Are you living the life you're supposed to be living, right? And a lot of the times we aim to be, we aim or we chase after that high. And sometimes we spend a lot of time in the high, which is, I suppose, is what we all want. But sometimes we spend too much time in the high that when the low comes, we're not prepared. When the low comes, or when the dark phase comes, we are not prepared. We are not ready. We lose our minds. We feel like we're dying. We feel like we're running out of breath. We don't know if we're coming or going, right? For myself, there was a stage in my life where everything was on a high. I was in heaven. Everything was going the way I wanted it to go, right? And then things changed. Right, the low came. Now, for me, when the low came, I found myself doing things that were out of character, right? Just walking away from my center and walking away from who I was. And then the interesting thing, though, is that I knew that I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. I knew that I was off balance. But my emotional intelligence was just not in a place where it could manage that. It just wasn't. So then I had to do some work. And I was like, but I've done work regarding this before. Why am I doing work now? And that's the thing about life and the seasons. Today you could be in a high, tomorrow you could be in a low. You go through some work in that low and you feel like, okay, I've gone through some work, I don't need to be in this low again. You go in a high, you come back in another low, and you find yourself going through similar things. You're just like, wait, I worked through that. But that's how life works. That's how we grow, right? You're going up, you're going down, you're going up, you go down, and each of those space, you're constantly learning more about yourself, you're constantly growing, you're constantly evolving, and you're constantly stepping into your truth, I suppose. So the trick is to be aware that, okay, just because I learned a lesson when I went through something like this, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have to learn something again in a similar scenario. So I say this to say the seasons in life, one, show that you are actually living your life. You are actually doing stuff with your life. You're actually challenging because you're going to get the highs. You're challenging yourself because you're going to get the highs and you're going to get the lows. And when you're in the lows, especially, and you're going through a dark time, remember that each challenge in life, I believe, each challenge in life is meant to teach you a lesson. Like I said in my earlier videos, it may be a very small one, but learn from it, right? And constantly challenge yourself, constantly ask yourself, like, why am I going through this again? Why is my life going through this again? Why do I have to learn a lesson about this again? What is it that I didn't learn? Or what is it that led me to this low that I didn't learn the last time that I need to figure out now, right? Because once you do that, you'll find that even though when you're down in the dumps, you're not going to be depressed, or you're not going to think it's the end of the world. You're just going to be like, okay, this is where we are. I accept that. Now let's learn the lesson and let's move on from it. So my takeaway is that life is a series of seasons, high, low. Don't stay too long in the stagnant, and learn from the lows and the highs, I suppose. Till next time. Thanks. Bye.